Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the recovery addicts live stream in their court.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Dati mihi Anglican praise service. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Literally not true. Oh, for Trump's sake.
All right, just a little bit of a situation normal mistake. I just about said it. Oh man, I just about said something. All right, I guess snafu's not a bad word, is it? It's not really a bad word. All right, well, I'm too tall. That's for starters. This is what happens when Weather Watch twists my arm and convinces me to tear down my gear and run out in the middle of a storm and film lightning. But last night was a blast. Thank you, Weather Watch. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for that. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. Goatee is still here. Still here. Yes. We had a great day. We had a great day yesterday. It was awesome, and we're gonna have a wonderful day today as well. As I just get the junk off my table here. Mystic Mama, congratulations! You were first in chat today. Repeat offender, although it's been a bit. You thought we would forget, but you remember your prior acts. We have a full copy of your record, but congratulations, you won once again. This puts you squarely in charge of everything internet related, because you were first in chat, and that's just the penalty, or the prize. We call it a prize around here. It's a good thing. Thank you very much. I didn't have time to shave. I didn't, but I should have. I mean, the whole family left early. They're all in Raleigh for the day. It's just me, and I confess, somehow I was checking my email, and at first it started, I need to check for a couple work emails. I was expecting some communication as well from some courts, and so I started there, and where I found myself about 45 minutes later was searching for crab boats for sale on Facebook, and I don't know how I got from one to the other. But that's where it is. I decided at the last minute, I decided not to purchase the boat, so I just told him, go ahead, cancel that order. No, I don't think I would get seasick on a crab boat, even if it's inshore. Yep, crab boats. That's it's a thing. I'll tell you what happened. I searched for email, and the emails I was looking for didn't come in, so I thought, well, let me just check comments on see if there's anything I need to reply to, and I saw a couple comments, and I started thumbs upping, and then YouTube told me about Luke McFadden, who's a YouTuber who catches blue crabs in Maine, and I started watching some of his little shorts because he's really funny, and it works his butt off on this crappy boat and catches crabs that bite him all the time or pinch him all the time, and he's always like a day late and a dollar short, and everything's always breaking. But he's a fun guy to watch, and he was talking about buying a junky boat on Facebook for like a second crab boat in case he needed parts or fix it up and make it work or something. And next thing I knew, I was shopping for my own crab boat, wondering I wonder how expensive these are. And I'm looking at little wheel winders and Garmin GPS and radar and everything else. And no, I have zero desire to actually be a what was he? Is he? I think he's New Hampshire or something like that. A crabber. I like watching them. Anyway, Gulf Coast blue crab's the best, apparently. Courtney, glad I could make you laugh. Good to have you here. We're going to have a fun day here. We're expected to hear or see some of the trial, roughly. All right, boat made of crabs. We're expected to see some of jury selection or possibly even opening arguments. I don't know exactly where they're at right now, but it's not going to happen until about midday. That's going to happen live. We instead, in this morning, we're going to get caught up on the case. Exactly. Is my camera crooked? I know it's blurry. Holy cow! Look at that. There we go. That's a little better. It's crooked. It's like 2 degrees crooked. And that's going to drive me nuts. Oh, well, I have to change the tripod. This is Weather Watch's fault, I'll have you know, because I have to take the tripod apart to take the monopole with me to go film the... Everything's Thomas's fault, apparently. Anyway, had a great day yesterday. Matthew Harris, good to have you here. Welcome. Hope your week is going great. Tell us all about your recent wins in court, because we know that's all you have. Win, win, win. That's all he does. Let's see what else we have. There's an interesting rabbit hole. Crab belts. Yeah, anything you can possibly think of. There's a little niche of the internet dedicated to it. And as long as whatever it is not illegal, I encourage you to go search it out. It's fun. It's fun. It's always more fun if it's uplifting as well, though. Let's see. How are you doing? Been missing you. Dinah Do, good to have you here. Welcome. We're getting ready. Let's see. There's another trial on today. What time does this one start? Estrella, I think some of the big channels are covering like a best friend murder trial or something that starts this morning. This one starts at noon, my time. Noon my time. But we have some. I worked my butt off yesterday, and I built a new chart. I built a chart to help explain this trial and who's who and what's what. And as Sarah Boone says, how much and how many, or who's what and how many. What was her saying? What did she say the other day? I just thought you guys were going to come down here and tell me what's what and how many or something like that. I want to start using that saying just because I'm pretty sure no one else uses it but Sarah Boone. Matthew is on vacation, traveling my way. Awesome. Well, hopefully he keeps his eyes on the road. He can listen to us all he wants. I missed a comment this morning. Caper, it was not yours, but I'm not going to miss yours. Best 2 months I've had in a long time. Thanks, RA Mods, and to our chat family. Wonderful, Caper. Thank you so much. Appreciate your continued support. Love that green courthouse by her name as well. Let me see if I can find... Well, here's another 2 months. That wasn't... Where'd the noise come from? Erica, thank you for all the hard work. Erica says, thank you for all the hard work you do for your stick figure charts. It's the least I could do. It really, I think, honestly, it is the least I could do. There it is. Greeners coming with the 3 months membership message. Congratulations, Greeners, on that with the green courthouse as well. It's like your magic anniversary when your courthouse color matches your name. And there was a cha-ching, and there it is. Cheryl A. gave a super chat. That's where it was. Sometimes, Cheryl, by the way, thank you. That is your first ever super chat to me, and thank you very much. That is awesome. I appreciate that. Love the pooch in the picture there. Those eyes are just gorgeous. Love that. Thank you very much for your support. All right. Love seeing all the courthouse colors. Pretty soon it's going to be like a full, it's like a kaleidoscope of color in here. Okay, let's see. Do we have any birthdays we have to get out of the way? I'm not that I'm trying to get them out of the way, but I like to do them first because they deserve recognition early on. But if you have a birthday or something and would like to be sung to by yours truly, because that's the only person that's here. I can't even call my kids in. So if I need water, which I do, I'm going to have to just run and get it myself. It's a hard life, It's really a hard life in here. Cheryl says there was a trial hearing yesterday on this case to suppress the walkthrough video, but it was denied. They also
heard traveling to Raleigh, NC. We almost moved to Ifland, NC in 2010.
Hang on, let me finish this comment. Let me jump over there. It was denied. They also discussed Detective Kelly being an expert. Okay, we're actually going to watch some of that. I watched that as well yesterday, that hearing, and we're going to watch the key pieces of that. We're not going to watch the entire thing, but it's sort of funny when they do a hearing like that and it looks like trial. I actually got some texts from people saying, hey, the trial started, it's on now. It's like, it looks like it, but it's not really yet. Brianne says, heard traveling to Raleigh, North Carolina. We almost moved to Efland. Efland, what a name, in 2010. I love North Carolina. It has just some beautiful, beautiful places. I'm falling behind on the sound. Let's see. Angelo has a birthday today. Okay, do we have any others? Rebecca, it's your unbirthday. Lots of unbirthdays today, maybe. Let's see. Angelo. You might be the only one that gets sung to here, if that's the case. Anybody else that wants to fess up? Let's see. Tag, yes, we did hear from your kiddo yesterday. I hope you're feeling better. You got your thunderstorm from last night. I heard a lot of people got a lot worse than what I had. I mean, it was pretty cool and impressive, and it rained a little bit, but there was no real danger to me at any time. I think weather watch for that. He steered it around me. Okay, I think that's the only birthday. Trina Grant says birthday's on Saturday. Okay, well, so we're just going to do the one for Angela Angelo. Haven't had my water yet this morning, so we'll see how this works. Sing along so it drowns out if I miss the note. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Angela Angelo. Happy birthday to you. That was good. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. That was. I wouldn't say it's my best, but definitely something I'd be proud of. I'll post that one. That's good. Happy birthday, Angela Angelo. I know there's a million places you could be on your birthday, and I'm honored that you choose to be here. Hopefully we can help make your birthday a great one, and appreciate you very much. Congratulations on surviving another trip around the earth. I guess that's what we're celebrating, right? Lego My Briefs, welcome back to me. Did you miss me? Recovery addict was held captive in a cottage in the Karwatha Lakes. Lego My Briefs, it sounds miserable. It sounds like you were just, you barely survived by the skin of your teeth, apparently. Send pictures. It sounds like a great vacation. Let's see, I can't say this word. Fiance's birthday last Sunday, and he was sad you weren't streaming. I'm sorry, Cheryl. Tell your fiance to have a birthday on a day that I'm streaming. It will make it a little more convenient. Let's see. That was the best. Everything and more. Thank you all so much. Wonderful, Angela. Hope your day is just fabulous. I've had a couple kids with birthdays recently, and they've had some great birthdays. Correct? So I hope you have one as well. Let's see. Yes, your tech. He was sneaky. I wasn't feeling too well yesterday. I'm glad he was able to party with my peeps while I was down, though. Yep, he jumped on briefly, said hi. All right. Another trip around the sun, not around the earth. Yeah, so those science classes, they're really important, kids. You want to pay attention and study when you're in school. 4th grade especially, 4th grade and on. Learn the names of the planets, learn about orbits, learn about which one's in the middle and what everything goes around. Yeah, my bad, Caper. Did I say another
Cheryl A. just sent a super sticker with 3.
Cheryl, thank you very much. Oh, man, you caught me. You caught me on a big flub. Cheryl, thank you very much for the super sticker. I love the thumbs up. Thumbs up to you as well. That's awesome. First a super chat and then a super sticker. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Jackie says, you and Brandy are covering both the same case this week. We are. We're going to cover it a little differently, obviously. Brandy is going to give you much better charts than I'm going to give you. Hopefully I can do something with the audio or video and make it a little better. I don't know. We just do things a little different, and wherever you want to go, please go there and watch, and don't feel bad about it. So if you'd like to watch with Brandy this week, that's awesome. Tell her hi. I'll try to pop in and say hi when I can. Brandy and I had talked, and we said, we knew a long time ago, we said eventually the day is going to come where we both choose the same trial, and the internet is big enough for everybody. We're friends. We're not competing. We're not competing against each other. So hopefully we can help each other out, and as Brandy's done for me, and hopefully I can do for her as well. So who's Brandy? Brandy Churchwell is Brandy. If you type ! Brandy in chat, Estrella, it'll put a link up to our channel. We're big fans of our channel around here as well. She's amazing. She's really amazing. Plus, she gets to sit and watch the beach all day long, which I'm a little jealous of. Okay. There's always enough room on the internet for everyone. There really is. Thank you, Ryan Apple Snapple. Good to have you here as well. Wallflower, welcome. 5 months. 5 months next month. Next month, you get a yellow courthouse. It's going to be awesome. I love the flower there as well. Thank you very much for your continued support as well. All right. Here's where we are. Let's see. I love you and Brandy. You were first, though. First doesn't mean better. I think Brandy's going to far eclipse anything I do online. But she's just got, and she has oh my goodness, she has the Lucy Cam, which is it's not fair. She has a very cute pet that she can show at any time on her stream. I have to borrow one from my neighbor, from my friend, and he's not here yet today, so I'm not sure if my pet is going to show up. I need to rent a pet for my live streams. Lucy is just incredible. I'm glad she has her own camera now. All right. All right, I think, let's see, I think that's all we have right now. Let me just check. Okay, oops. We're going to keep that going there with this. Something went wrong. Why did it go wrong? I wonder if some of the, hang on, I'm thinking to myself, just one second. I want that off. Thinking maybe the trial may not show the jury selection today, which is no good. And I'm also thinking I need some water. And all my mugs are in the kitchen, so that's also no good. This guy. We're buffering something fierce. No. Okay, I'm not sure why we had that little buffer. Is everybody back? Rosie from Tucson just gifted 5 Recovery Addict memberships. Thank you very much, Rosie. Those went to Kelly White, Gossip Rumor and Innuendo, Lindsay Lewis, and Tracy Smith, as well as Carol O'Neill. Congratulations. How old is the defendant in this case? I think he's 66, but he looks like he's aged a lot. You're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as such viewers will experience buffering. Buffering should not occur when I have fiber internet. Let me just say that. This should not be a thing. Either you're frozen or you're very good at standing still. Is it still frozen or are we back? What does this sound like? Beads falling on the floor? Jenny, that's actually supposed to be coins falling on the table. It's the closest one we had. Hot and humid in North Carolina. Yes, a little bit windy as well. Is the video working here? All good. Okay. I think I changed a setting on the delay, and I think my computer did not like that very much. So could be why. Did you get a lot of the storms from yesterday? Hannah, they went around us, around me, but there was a good line of storms. The threat, the weather warnings were real and were good, but where I chose to park and view if you watch the live stream from yesterday, where I chose to watch that, it was a big bluster and a little bit of wind, and then it sort of, the skies parted and the storms went around. But it was a couple places around me did say they got quite a bit of little wind gusts and some pretty good rain and thunder. Troy, North Carolina. I don't think I've ever been there. Don't think I haven't been there. The clip button is gone again. Let me see if I can put the clip button back. Customization. Yeah, I built an entirely new placeholder today instead of copying a previous one, so I might have made a mistake on that one. Let's see.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Community settings, channel, advanced settings. It says allow viewers to clip my content. It is set up properly. General information. Man, I just don't know. I don't know what I did wrong on this one. It looks like I set it up correctly. Anyway, we're going to get ready. Oh, more things are coming in. Sorry. Ricky Watson gifted a membership. Thank you, Ricky. I don't know who that went to. Probably as is. And also we have a membership gifted by Aaron Patterson, and that one went to TLC is me. So congratulations and thank you both for your generous support, as well as Rosie from Tucson. If I didn't call you out before, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. All right. Aaron says anti-burr needs to be green again. You've got a target, or Angie. Angie is what we're looking for. Angie, we've got a target. Maybe you can hit her with a gifted today some point. Where's the heart smiley face on the side of chat? Red Sky, I turned that one off. People are complaining because some of the ways they view it covers part of chat. It's a setting I can turn on and off. I don't know what it does for the channel, other than it's just a fun button to click that makes things appear on the screen. but yes, it's something I turned off manually. All right, let's start with. Do you want the chart first, or do you want to start with the video from yesterday? Aaron gifted another membership. This one goes to Chazzy H. The heart was a PIA. All right, we want the chart. You guys want the chart first, apparently. All right, so here's our chart. I'm gonna have to turn my face off just for a minute. I'm sure if this gets stolen and put anywhere on the internet, you guys will know exactly where it came from. I don't watermark my charts, just probably because I don't know how. Before we begin, let me just say this case is about a serial killer who only targets his wives. Okay, it's bizarre, it's crazy, but so this is our chart right here. This is the wives of Thomas Randolph, and he's the guy on the left, and we called him the Black Widower, so we put a little Black Widow on his body. He's the guy in blue. Everyone in blue on this chart is Thomas Randolph. And it's sort of, you view this chart from the top down, right? So we've got a description, but if you look at the center place where we have, the couple standing together with the enamored girl standing next to them, these are his 6 marriages, right? 6 marriages. The first one he married at 18. And down below, you can see she got away. They ended up in divorce. As a matter of fact, the day they divorced, or the day the divorce got finalized, he married number 2. Number 2 it did not end well for her. That's why we have the chalk outline for her. It was ruled a suicide initially. But after some further investigation, they decided that when they find a body neatly tucked into bed with the blankets all neat and a single gunshot wound to the head, that something's not quite right, that there's something, amiss. And so they changed it and said, hey, we're actually going to charge Thomas Randolph in this murder. And they went for everything. They went for the DP. They went death penalty was the only option that was given to the jury. The jury just didn't think they could get to the death penalty, and they acquitted him. They acquitted him of that one. So she's passed away. He goes on, marries the next one. Okay, she is alive. 1 and 3 are the ones that are still alive, or they were at the time in 2017. Both 1 and 3 testified against Thomas Randolph in his 2017 trial against his 6th, about the murder of his 6th wife. But between then, he divorces number 3 and then marries number 4. Number 4 it's got a question mark on him because we're not quite sure how this happened. But number 4 had a heart condition that required open heart surgery. And she went to the hospital, and the doctors were amazing and did an incredible job and had a very successful surgery. And they're like, yay, we'll be fine. Everything went well. And the family's visiting with her in the doctor's office, and in comes Thomas Randolph. He's like, hey, I'd like to be with my wife alone. And he goes in to sit with his wife alone, comes out and says she died. And she was dead. And no one thought twice about it. I think he had her cremated, and it was done and over, and there's no evidence. But she died after this, died alone with him in the hospital room. Crazy. Number 5. Now, this, we don't know a lot about her other than that we've got the cancer sucks sign on there. There's another saying I was going to use that has cancer as the second word and uses a lot of the same letters as the as sucks, but I thought that might not be appropriate for our audience. But either one, that cancer is awful. It's a monster. Anyone who has dealt with this, who personally or has family members who have gone this, know that cancer is just awful, awful, awful. What we know about this fifth wife is that, according to Randolph, she died of cancer. Now, I put a question mark there because I don't know. I don't trust him. Okay. There's a history. Oh yes, Tony Green. The trial starts. I think jury selection is today. I'm not sure if they're going to air it, honestly. But the trial starts tomorrow with opening statements. If they're going to air jury selection, we're going to try to carry that. But if they don't, then obviously we won't, and we'll just pick up with the trial tomorrow. So fifth wife is dead. We think, or Thomas has said, that it was cancer that caused it. Enter the sixth wife. The sixth wife is the one that he's now on trial for, and this is the second time around. He was tried for her back in 2017, and convicted and sentenced to the death penalty. So he was put on death row, but then he won an appeal because in that case they brought evidence from the trial of the second wife dying, and they brought too much in, and the judge said that shouldn't have been allowed. So this is the third time he's been tried for the murder of a wife, but it's only the second time for this wife, and he was acquitted on the second wife. So it's a little bit confusing. We've got the names of the different wives up there. Number one, Catherine Thomas. She's alive. She testified in 2017 against him. Said he was very controlling, psychologically abusive, manipulative. Number two, Becky Galt she's the one that was found dead in bed, tucked in neatly, blanket perfectly up. It's not the scene that you would expect to find in that sort of situation. He was acquitted of that murder. Number three, Gaina Allman, she's alive. She also testified. She says that he actually tried to kill her. There was a time when they were both at home and he was cleaning one of his firearms and the gun went off and the bullet whizzed by her in the kitchen. And she thought that's about enough and she got out of that marriage. But she says he tried to kill her. In here as well, there are stories about hitmen that have been hired. We've got one hitman that wanted to testify against him, but then was scared. That was almost hired to commit a murder, and then backed out because he said, "No, if I do this, you're gonna kill me." We also have a situation where he tried to hire a police officer to do this. It's nuts. So we've got number four was Frances Randolph. She died after the heart surgery in the hospital. Number five was Leona Stapleton. She died of cancer per Thomas. And number six, Sharon, I think it's Koss. Sharon Koss. And she was shot in a home invasion. This is the current trial. Now this home invasion, they're saying is a hitman setup, hitman for hire situation. Okay. Because there really was someone in the home. There really was someone that shot Sharon. And it was not Thomas Randolph. All the evidence shows that Thomas did not shoot his last wife. He didn't kill his last wife. This intruder did, and then Thomas shot and killed the intruder. But when he told his story and they found the evidence, the story's not matching up. And they also happened to find that this intruder was somebody that Thomas had befriended a few months before and had been giving money to and having these secret meetings and like 300 phone calls in the last couple of weeks with him. Very, very suspicious. But so that's where we're at. And in this new trial, the evidence that was from marriage number two trial from the marriage number two is not going to be admitted. Anyway, that's where we are. Okay, so that's my chart for the day. Hope you got a screenshot of that. That's the best I can do. It was all balanced and neat, and I think everything's even spelled correctly. Motive, Angie. You're getting to motive right here. A ton of money. He made money off the women when they were alive. I think he chose women who had some money for one reason or another, whether it was a life insurance settlement they had gotten or came from a wealthier family. But he basically used them up financially. when they were alive, and then used them for financial gain in their death. And just if you look at his marriage record and his collections, or his divorce record, or the death records, and the life insurance that goes along with them, it's just bizarre. The police have said that the millions of dollars has been collected. Did I spell something wrong? Red pen, you ruined my morning right there. I'm just kidding. I don't have spell check on Canva. For some reason, it's not working properly. He even sued the city that prosecuted him in the first wife trial, and they paid him off. Yeah, this guy is all about the money. And something about him appears that he likes to manipulate people. And when we watch a little bit, as Dean, this truer words were never spoken. That is not a brandy chart. That is not a brandy chart. I appreciate the generous grading on the curve, apparently. Happens to the best of us. Let's see. Red Pen, sorry, I'm an editor. I can't help it. Red Pen, I might need to hire you and text you all my charts in the future so you can check them before I go live. It's just an extra eye. You never know when you're going to need it. Well, I didn't need it right then. Mary Viviano, the court today is jury selection. It may begin about noon, but we're not sure if they're going to let us watch the live video of jury selection. And we're not going to see the jurors, but there may be questions that we hear and some of the back and forth. It's not the most interesting parts of trial usually, but usually there are some pretty funny bits in it, as we find through audio only people who are trying to get out of jury duty, and the funny excuses they give are hilarious, just great. I use the French version. Yeah, thank you, Weatherwatch. Is there a French version? I guess I should say that there is and claim it. Oh, Lena, that is sad. Please do. Please, that's very appropriate to check that out and support them. Okay, my goatee is like holding water after I drink. This is no good. It's gonna go soon, guys. I cannot put up with this much longer. All right, the judge on this case is a fast talker, but she seems smart and on top of things. Red Pen, also great point. She is a fast talker, and she can, but she doesn't always enunciate her words very clearly. So when we pick up this case and we start watching little bits, when she gets really excited about something, it takes active listening to be able to follow along with what she's saying. But the mics are good. They've got the entire courtroom mic, so pretty much anywhere somebody goes, we should be able to hear, and it will be great. It'll be good. Really like the judge. She is good. And what we're going to talk about today, what I'm going to show you from yesterday's hearing, is not really who the players are so much, although we're going to get to know them a little bit. But there seems to be a level of banter in this court that almost seemed inappropriate. Not that it was like inappropriate for public, like I can't believe they would say that, but it's like in a court setting, I would expect something to be a little more serious, but there's like an underlying little jabs being offered, which just gives us the indication that this trial just might go off the rails at some point as there's tensions back and forth between people. And that's going to show up in court as it's usually if you can detect them early on, later on they sort of explode or bloom, I guess you could say. Kelly Mazak, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I love to see that blue courthouse by your name and your name in green. Just know that one of the perks of being a member is not just the courthouse by your name and that indicates your support, but you can type !seat in chat and take a virtual seat at the front row, which we have saved for you. Thank you very much. Mrs. Johnson, another month, another trial, courtroom color change, 3 months. Thank you, Miss Johnson. I said Mrs., sorry, Miss Johnson. My apologies for that, but thanks for 3 months of support there as well. All right, so here's what we're going to look at. I'm going to give you a preface. There are some funny bits in here. We have to listen carefully for them because the conversation goes quick. But there's some jabs back and forth. And the first one that I'd like to look at, let's see where am I pulling that from? I'm pulling that from this, over here. The first one I want to look at is when the state has just finished questioning a witness, and this is during the hearing to see if they allow certain evidence. All the evidence pretty much was allowed in with very few restrictions, so that the content is not nearly as important as the conversation that goes back and forth. So they're going to be talking about defense is about to get up and cross-examine the witness for the second time. So this is the second time around that this witness has been back on the stand. He actually was here, they left, and they recalled him back to the stand. Now defense gets another shot at him. So we're picking up right with this lady that's sitting down with the pink little cardigan. She's with the state. She's sitting to her right is an intern, which we're going to see later. And then the state attorney is looking over at the defense, who's going to be standing up and talking. The judge is there on the right. She does a great job. And those little things with the red circles on them, those are either aliens or microphones. I'm not sure which. Okay. Why is the audio not working? Hang on, we're going to fix this.
Internal contents of the computer.
Okay, we backed up just a little bit.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Now check this witness.
Welcome back. Good to be back. Liar. I'm cooperating.
Well, you better. We'll arrest you as a material witness.
Okay.
Real quickly about this computer. You're aware that at some point this case winds up in the courtroom of presiding District Court Judge Stephanie Miley.
Correct.
Okay. Okay,
so this defense guy gets up, immediately calls the guy a liar, and it's not lost on me that they look like twins, okay, like they're brothers or something. Anyway, the witness is talking about a computer that this is not previous trial. This was a hearing from yesterday about the trial that's coming up, and it was ruling on whether or not something is going to be allowed in trial. So they're talking about the computer that was confiscated from the defendant, which a previous judge had ordered the jail had to give him, and then something happened and the computer was confiscated. And they're saying, hey, he was using that for his defense, and that, you're looking at his defense materials. That's not fair. That's what they're getting at. He doesn't get very far with that line of questioning, but immediately he calls him a liar for saying he's happy to be here. And we're going to continue because there's a conversation coming up. Pay attention to the dates they start talking about because it gets funny here.
You're also aware that in preparation for that case proceeding to trial in front of Judge Miley, Mr. Randolph was allowed to have a computer within the detention center. Yes?
Correct.
And the purpose of him having that computer was to help assist his counsel in preparation for trial.
I don't know why he was given it, but I'm sure that's the reason why.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I'm sure that's why.
Makes sense, right?
It makes sense. And I don't know what access he had with it. I don't know if it was taken in and out or if he had it in his cell. I have no idea.
You do know that it was pursuant to an order that Judge Miley allowed him to have that computer with whatever parameters she imposed on it, right?
I would assume that's accurate. I haven't seen the order. I did see the order.
I haven't seen the order. I did see the order.
Have the computer examined by your expert.
Okay. When you say my expert,
well,
you agree, wasn't
defense expert.
Yeah, I wasn't defense counsel.
You weren't there yet,
and neither was Mr. Orm, correct?
No. I think Mr. Orm was there. Yes,
he
was already on the case.
30 lawyers.
Okay. I was not.
You were not.
Okay. When the computer was impounded, it was in the year 2014, correct?
On tax day, April 15th, I remember, yeah.
Okay. Did you pay your taxes?
I did, but not then.
Okay. Just taking advantage of you.
I did before.
All right.
Just taking advantage because you're under oath.
When the computer is impounded, it is at the direction of the court, right?
Yes.
Your understanding of how that happens procedurally is the court notifies Mr. Daskus that the computer is going to be impounded, right?
Correct.
So that he can facilitate having law enforcement impound the computer, right?
Correct.
And then that call is made to Detective Wilson, right?
Yes.
And he ultimately impounds it on, as you put it, tax day of 2014.
That's correct.
And it stays in evidence that whole time, right?
Yes.
In impound.
Yes.
Nobody has access to it.
Well, it's in an impound, but nobody had access to it.
Okay.
Nobody accessed it.
And nobody accessed it. You'd agree the chain of custody record indicates that no one accesses it between February 14th of 2014 until February of 2022.
I don't know where the February 14 of 14 comes up.
April 14th.
April, yeah, April 15th.
I might have said February, but I meant April.
Yeah, you went tax day to Valentine's Day, which is, I applaud your effort, but that's, yeah.
Between April 15th of 14 until February of 2022. What?
April 14th of 14.
April 15th of 14.
I thought you said April 14th.
Tax day, 15th.
No,
Valentine's Day is the 14th.
You said tax day, but I thought it was.
And then he switched to Valentine's Day.
Don't be forgetting Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Okay, April 15th of 2014.
So between those two times, nobody accessed it. No,
They've got
didn't
to
come
be
out of
brothers.
Okay, so here's what I want to
Got to
ask
be
you.
brothers.
What caused the court to take Mr. Randolph's computer?
I do not know.
Okay. Do you know of any conversations between the court and Mr. Daskis on that issue?
I don't know of those conversations. I'm sure they took place if Mr. Daskis related to my partner to have it impounded.
Okay. Do you know of any communications between Mr. Daskis and your partner, Rob Wilson, regarding the impound?
I don't know them personally, but I know based on the property report that was where it came from. It came from Robert Daskis to my partner, Rob Wilson. He retrieved it from a DST specialist at the jail, and then he impounded it. And it was at the wishes of Judge Miley.
Okay.
But I don't know why.
Okay, that's my question. Presumably something happened that caused Judge Miley to take back the computer, right?
I would expect, yes.
Okay, and you just can't tell us what it was?
I don't know what it was.
And you can't tell us who looked at that computer between the time it was given to Mr. Randolph until it was impounded on tax day of 2014?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the procedures are with CCDC, if he's allowed to have the access
Clark
to the
County
computer,
Detention Center.
if they somehow then also have access to make sure that he's utilizing it properly. They may have those procedures. I don't know. So I don't know specifically of anybody that was granted access to it based on procedure or not. But I know we in homicide did not access his computer.
Okay. And so the record's clear. There were no communications, according to your testimony, between the district attorney's office and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department about the content of the computer.
That's correct.
Okay, we're going to pause there for a second. So that's the exchange that's sort of funny. It's humorous at a funny level as they're talking about this, but at the same time, it's there's a little bit of tension. So let me get the next clip ready, because this is a huge case, right? This is massive as far as cases go. Death penalty cases is about as big as they can get, and then the state goes and does this here, which completely surprised me. Just one second. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so we're going to pick up right where the state is.
Notify the court that we found
finishing.
that to be inadmissible and incorrect.
And now it goes
Your
back
Honor,
to.
with the court's permission, we have an intern under Rule 49.3, Tyler Christiansen, who's going to do the argument for the state, if that's okay.
Okay.
They put an intern on the case. It's a death penalty case, and here comes the intern.
So, to the extent the defendant's motion takes issue with page 164 of Detective O'Kelly's testimony at the first trial as it relates to Sharon Randolph, the possibility that she may or may not have been on her hands and knees at some point, the state has no intention of eliciting that testimony from the detective this time around. So
She says that about 6
that
times.
particular issue shouldn't be relevant going forward. So as it relates to the Ninth Circuit decision that the defendant cites relating to dual role testimony, a detective testifying both as an expert and to facts, ANCRM, the Ninth Circuit decision, does not categorically prohibit dual role testimony. Dual role testimony takes place all the time. And in fact, in that decision, the Ninth Circuit held that a simple jury instruction indicating to the jury, hey jury, this is what expert testimony is. This is the expert testimony that the state or the defense intends on eliciting from this witness. And hey jury, here's what the facts are. Here's what the facts that we intend on, or that the state or the defendant intends on eliciting from this particular witness, was fine. The court held that simple instruction and the prosecutor couching their language in,
she's going to do well as an attorney.
As the defense counsel said, case agent, in your expert opinion, fill in the question there. Those two things were sufficient to cure any concerns with jury confusion or unmerited credibility and should not prohibit the detectives from testifying both as factual lay testimony, providing factual lay testimony, and also providing expert testimony. And as it relates to the decision that the defense counsel mentions, which is Pete v. State, the 2017 unpublished
yes, he's here.
decision.
This is the last part we want to watch because he starts talking to the judge at the end.
Reprimanded the state for failing to notify Detective Mogg as an expert witness when the state intended on eliciting from Detective Mogg inconsistency analysis.
Okay, we're going to pause her. She did a great job. Okay, but it's funny to see a intern take the helm in a case like this. Let me jump to the end here. We're going to see the defendant. The judge is making her rulings here.
So 9 o'clock tomorrow morning? Yes, ma'am. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll be here.
See you at 9:05.
We're going to have the Patrick. Did
He
you
says, see you at 9:05.
Yes.
There at the gym?
She says, be here at 9 o'clock. She says,
Okay, I got the email on Thursday. Okay. I was out of town, but I read it this morning.
so this is Nevada time. 9 o'clock is.
He did get a very nice haircut. We were just wondering, Mr. Thomas.
The defendant got a great haircut. I think he was ordered to.
Yes?
When you're talking to the, still with this medication, I'm telling you, well, last time we was here, because of the difference of the time, it was in the afternoon, you can ask Mr. Oram, he woke me up about a dozen times. I need to be awake during a death penalty case, or any case.
Right.
But we can't get this doctor in at the same time. I've been telling him, file a kite, file a kite, file a kite. I need him to adjust the times on the medicine so that I'm asleep at night, not in court, but I can't get him to come out. I don't know why it is. They'll send a PA, they'll send another doctor, they'll send some provider, and they say, we can't do anything, Dr. Mapleton has to do it. He needs to do this, like soon, we start picking a jury tomorrow. I want to be awake during my trial. And all he needs to do is come and see me, and I'll explain to him, just change it to a certain time, and I'll happen to be in the unit, and then as soon as I'm in the unit, having lunch like the rest of you, changing my bandages, brushing my teeth so Chris doesn't pass out, being normal, because I'm sitting in a place that's got water on the floor and stains on the wall, and it's not good for me to be sitting on concrete hours and hours a day when I've got the compressed disc, which is causing the pain. And that's what you get the methadone for. We've talked about UMC saying methadone, the guys are crazy, you shouldn't be getting this, you must be a junkie. I'm not a junkie, I don't do drugs. So we need you to get him to come and see me soon, like today, tomorrow, and then get this, if I'm there during taking a lunch like you guys do, where I'm not sitting on cold concrete, and I can change my bandages, I can do what I just told you. As soon as, and I talk to the nurse, as soon as I get there, the COs will call and say he's in the unit, and they'll bring me my medicine.
Well, Mr. I'm going to make those requests, but as far as what they're giving you, I'm not a doctor. When you talk about this, I can't tell them you have to give them this. But I'm going to call the jail right now and make the request.
They're going to give me what they give me. It's just give it to me when, I know when I fall asleep. I want to be awake during my trial. I can sleep at night. I can sleep during the after, at 8 o'clock at night. I can sleep. At 6 o'clock, I don't want to be sleeping at 2 o'clock, at 10 o'clock.
Okay. I will call the jail as soon as we're done here and address everything.
All right, thank you.
Do we have any other matters we need to address outside of this?
Not on behalf of the state.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you guys in the morning at 9.
I can see these pictures before the trials.
Okay, so that was pretty interesting. I expect we're going to get more of that. More of him doing that during the trial. He's complaining because he has some medical issues. He says he has bandages that needs to change regularly. I haven't heard the details, and honestly, I'm not sure if it really matters. But sure, this is a Wendy's. If future. That's hilarious. The judge is like, look, I'll do some, but I'm not going to, order what drugs they give you and things like that. Anyway, he's playing the tiniest fiddle, says Juniper. Make the doctor give me the good stuff. He's getting methadone right now. But he says he has to change his bandages 3 times a day. He has to sit on this hard cell concrete floor or something with a compressed disc, and that's why he's got the strong painkillers, and the painkillers make him sleepy, and he wants to adjust the time that he gets the drugs so that he doesn't get sleepy during court, which is fair. He should be able to be present and not medicated beyond his ability to help in his own defense. But this is him leaving the courtroom. Either he is really in a bad way, or he's playing it up pretty well. Anyway, so that's what we have to look forward to. He did have, when they say haircut, he had hair. Oh my goodness, he had hair. In his 2017 trial, when he showed up, I believe in that one, he showed up with his white hair out in pigtails, like pigtails on the side of his head. It gave him a very feminine appearance, even so much that people in court were confusing him and thinking that he was female. So the judge, I'm not sure what he looked like here, but the judge did tell him to get a haircut, and he did. So that's good. I don't have any doubt he's in pain, and prisoners obviously still deserve medical care, but I don't know whether the judge needed a whole breakdown of his medical conditions. She's already found out. This is like a reminder, because he brought this up previously in front of the judge. I was going to comment on the pigtails. They were interesting. They were interesting. Methadone's pure opioid. It's pretty powerful stuff. Anyway, this is where we are for the case. What case is this? Did trial just start? Flutter 1. The trial is due to start today with jury selection. We were just watching the hearing that took place yesterday, where the defense was trying to eliminate. First of all, they want to get rid of a couple witnesses. They say you can have the witnesses, but don't have them be experts. And you say, why would that serve? What good is that if they still get to testify? Well, an expert gets to speculate. They get to ask questions and say, based on my experience, on my training, all my expertise and schooling and everything else, I can say that this is probably the case, that this is most likely what happened, to a degree of reasonable certainty, or something like that. So they can answer questions that where a lay witness, a normal witness, all they can say is, I witnessed this. I personally saw this. They can't get into hearsay. They can't get into anything else. But they want to eliminate, and these are 2 detectives, they want to eliminate their ability to speculate on something that happened in the case. The judge shot both of those down. They also, I think, wanted to exclude the laptop computer because they did some searches on it because he was using that for his work. I'm not sure exactly how that went. I don't think they got anywhere. They didn't get any evidence saying that something wrong had been done. Let's see. I missed a lot of comments. Bite me. I did. Particularly, let's see. I missed one way up here from you that says, my human is breast cancer survivor, rough cancer. Thank you very much, Buttercup, for that. We were trying to listen to court here a little bit, so I did miss a few comments. There were many made here in chat as well. This is going to be a bizarre case. This is going to be crazy, and it's got all the elements of being one of those that starts off slow and then explodes, and like, holy cow, I can't believe we are where we are. Brandy and I are both going to be covering this, so take your pick. Just watch with one of us. It's going to be great. I get the interns need to learn, but a death penalty case, hippie chick. We've watched interns. Say in some of the small courts when we do court hopping, and we're hopping around the country, and you've got little misdemeanors and just traffic offenses and things like that. It's common to see an intern there practicing in that setting, but they can practice in just about any setting under the laws. Most states have the laws that allow an intern, under the careful tutelage and watchful eye of a bar certified lawyer, to practice in court. And so they announce to the judge, hey, here's the intern. They're working under me, and then the intern just goes as if they've passed the bar exam and have their own bar number. But she did a great job, which was awesome. Thank you, Bite Me, for the gifted and membership as well. Appreciate that. Let's see who that one went to. Yeah, it looks like that one went to Nisi. Nisi, congratulations. I'm behind, so my comments are not relevant. That's usually me. Good morning, Canned Laughter. Good to have you here. Welcome. Poor Brandy is still so sick. Someone needs to implore her to tag out today and rest up. Oh, man, Brandy. Hope she gets feeling better. She's had a rough spell the past few days. If she does pop on, make sure you go over and give her a thumbs up and send her your best wishes. She's awesome. All right. Maybe she's interning to become a death penalty certified attorney. Perhaps she's already practicing attorney. I'm not sure how that works. If you're already, I'm not sure if you have to be an intern once you're that, or if you get certified in some other method. But she would be young. I mean, she is young. I think if it's beneficial, Brandy should take the day off, especially if they're not going to air the jury selection. Give her a day off. Yes, I thought it was a female from the old thumbnail. He had crazy hair. What's DMB? Dave Matthews Band? Wrong answers only. What's DMB? Oh my goodness. I wonder if there's something we can do for her. Did she already wrap up her stream? Just a second here. Got somebody calling on the phone. Let's see who this is. Why is it not picking up? I think that was Ivan. Jury selection is today in this trial. I thought the pick was one of the deceased wives because of his long hair. The wives I put on my thumbnail pick are, I think one of them is alive and 3 of them are passed away. 15 Drogs, welcome to the gallery. Good to have you here as a member. Thank you very much for popping in. This is a fun place. You'll find that you probably have a lot of friends here you didn't know you had. But welcome. It's a great place. Okay, Ivan's calling back. Just one second.
Call from
Mr. Ivan.
Ivan, my friend, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, everybody. How are you guys?
We're doing well.
I just figured I'd chime in here. So as somebody who is not only experienced in, the joint, as somebody who's currently takes methadone, I've been on it for years, as a deterrent to the addiction I had. Actually, my parole officer made me start taking it as part of my rules of supervision. And so it's a hell of a thing. I didn't have really much of a choice because you can't really tell her no. Right. And so it's not one of those things you can just stop. So I've been off parole a couple of years right now. And in the process of the last year, I've been tapering my dose. And I got about 5-6 weeks left. And so it's a long haul. But my point is that it is powerful stuff. And so he must have some significant health issues because I've never seen anybody incarcerated get it. I've never seen anybody get it, not continually. There are certain institutions around the country that'll give it to severe addicts as they come in, but they're not keeping you on it because it creates such a well, first of all, they have to have a nurse come in and dose you. They can't. Most of the jail nurses and such are not going to want to get into it. It's just because it becomes a very high liability, and they don't want to put their name on it. Right. And so they can't obviously let you take it back to your cell. And so it becomes a whole ordeal where they have to come dose you. And the way it works is you're supposed to take it at the same time every day and whatever. And so it is kind of a big ordeal for them to change his time because that's going to have to shift the entire schedule of whoever's coming in to dose him and everything else. And so, but yeah, he must have some significant health issues because they're not just handing that stuff out in institutions anymore.
Yeah,
they really don't.
If what he's told us is correct, or what he told the judge is correct, he's got a situation with some compressed discs. Sorry, I have to be careful how to say this. Compressed discs in his back, and
keep it family friendly.
Yeah, that was so close. Anyway, the pain from that, and he says sitting on hard floors, things like that. The pain from that is what he's getting it for. So it's not for detox for a prior addiction, but it sounds like it's an ongoing prescription, and he's aware that everyone's like, nobody gets that, but I do. For my pain, it's so bad.
He's been in for so long, so like he's been on it for a while now, and so I'm sure he's been on it this entire time waiting for trial, and they give it to him in the morning, and it's not a big deal because who the hell cares if the big dumb bear sleeps all day? You know what I mean? And so it's actually easier for the guards if that's the case. And so, but he does have a legitimate gripe in that department because it will make you sleepy, especially if you got nothing going on and you're laying around eating jail carbs all day, watching TV, doing nothing. It really is one of those things where you have to stay active. And luckily, I'm so high strung that it would take a horse tranquilizer to get me to be sleeping throughout the day. So, but in any event, I just figured I'd give a little insight on that because it is a rare thing. And so he does deserve to be awake, and not just awake, but there's awake and there's ability to be engaged in what's going on. So, in any event.
Yeah, good insight in that one. I imagine this is going to come up again throughout trial, here's the flip side. Okay, that's going to come up. Right now he's saying I need my meds moved so I don't fall asleep during court. Well, if they move his meds, he's possibly going to be unmedicated and the pain will be unmanaged during court. So it might be a more visible presentation to everyone about how his situation.
The reason they like giving methadone as a pain killer for like chronic pain is because it has such a long half-life. And so that may seem to be true, but really it probably won't be the case because the way that it works is it has such a long half-life. That's why it's such a pain in the what to get off of is because the withdrawal from methadone is twice or more difficult as it is for heroin or for any of them because of the half-life. Like the half-life for most narcotics, especially opiates, is less than 72 hours. Methadone can last weeks in your system as it builds up. That's the whole purpose of it. And so, but in any event, so I don't think it's going to affect his pain, occurrences or, his tolerance and all, because I do think it'll just sort of keep him more alert. And he'll probably almost be a different personality because, he's going to probably be acting significantly different, especially if he's been on this same dose at the same time for so long.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, Ivan. Appreciate it. Got a new one coming in. We'll catch you again.
Have a good day, guys.
We'll see you. Bye.
Yep.
Call from
Shane.
Shane, is this Shane in Ireland? Oh, I missed him. That was Shane in Ireland. I could tell from the number. Thanks, Ivan, for the information. 13th raid incoming. Welcome all you 13th jurors, or 13th addicts, as we like to call you, because some of you bounce back and forth. It's really sad to hear about Brandy not doing well. Do wish her the absolute best. I like to think that I'm part of the reason she's on YouTube because she belongs here. She really does. She's so good at what she does, and just a natural, and her love of true crime and information and just digging things up. It's awesome, and she's just a great, friendly. Hey, Brandy just joined. I was just talking good about you. Congratulations. I think Brandy. I'm not sure if Brandy joined. If she should go to bed. Brandy, are you here? We were just saying how wonderful you were, but thank you. Here come the 13th jurors. Incoming. Brandy, we're over here just wishing you well. If you're out there, don't feel like the need to talk. Find a nice, quiet place to rest. Maybe call the doctor, see if they can give you something that would help in any way. I'm not sure what exactly you're going through, but whatever it is, I hope it's very short-lived and you return back to full strength as soon as possible. And here we are. It's nice to see all of you. Welcome. Welcome. All right. Hopefully, Greetings, everyone, from Brandy. Hopefully Brandy gets feeling better. I am so excited. Brandy's going to do an amazing job with this trial, so I hope she gets up and healthy as soon as possible. So, 13th addicts or addict jurors. I think either one would work. I think we were calling them 13th addicts, but either way, it's great. All right, as far as this trial goes, we are doing jury selection today, so we expect it to only take one day. They're going to find a jury. This has been a few years. I think it'll be pretty easy to find a jury that can be impartial, that the judge can be happy with, and we'll move forward. We're expecting opening statements to begin tomorrow, and usually court begins at 9 o'clock. This is Nevada and Las Vegas, so let's see. What time is it in Las Vegas?
It's 7:10 a.m. in Las Vegas, Nevada.
So they're 3 hours behind us, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it would be noon. It would be noon Eastern time before court starts. And I know that sort of sucks for a lot of people that are on especially if you're over across the pond. I do apologize for anyone over on the other side of the ocean. It's going to be late. I'm an addicted juror, says Alley Cat. Addicted jurors, I guess is when we're going to do it. Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be a late start, which means it's going to be a late day. We're probably going to end late in the evening as well. Brandy is so dedicated that we basically had to force her to go rest today. I'm so glad she took our advice. Brandy is amazing. She is. It's amazing if you look at her channel. Look when she started, and she literally started and said, how do you YouTube? That was where she was at, and she went from there, and she now has this incredible channel, running the podcast, with JT and everything else. Keeping the way she keeps everyone informed using social media and everything is just amazing. She's constantly following all the cases that are going on. Recovery jurors, there are a couple options, but Brandy is amazing. One of our favorites for sure. 7:10. I'm in Reno, says Nana. All right, so the case is actually taking place in Clark County, which actually I need to check my email really quickly because I'm waiting for the judge to send me something. Oh, she's probably not up yet. Are you going to watch mornings, tape afternoon next morning? That worked really well, and we may do that. That does help a little bit for the people that are overseas. But if that's the case, then we need to wait on jury selection if they're going to show it today and not air it today. But that might work very well for everybody. So it would be half the day we would be live and half the day would be catching up. If you watch the podcast from Friday, should explain how she met Scott. Yes, Brandy was on the podcast on Friday, which was wonderful. Brandy and JT both. And Thomas did an amazing job running that interview. He's fantastic as well. Polly Pressure says, hello, everyone. Just here to hit the like button and get back to work. Love all the RA and 13th Juror community. This is the best place on the internet. Honestly, it's the kindness, the generosity, just the acceptance, the friendliness, and it's not that we're all of the same mind. We don't look at everything and view the same thing and make the same decisions. We're often on opposite sides of cases, and the fun part is we can disagree and still be friends at the end of the day. It is so much fun to do that and be able to just tell people how you think in a respectful way and hear other opinions, and sometimes it changes my mind and sometimes it doesn't, but we want to watch jury selection today. We're going to try, but it's going to be noon before that happens. I'm not a cat. I heard that. I had the sound down too low. We don't know what they're going to show as far as jury selection goes, as far as how much. We do know that we've got multiple cameras in the courtroom. That's usually a good sign. We've got multiple microphones in the courtroom, and it's very well mic'd, which is good. Nothing but love with RA and Brandy. Seriously, the internet is a big place, and it's never good to fight. I mean, it's just there are some people that are just not worth talking to, that just want to stir up trouble. But really, it's so much easier just to be nice to people. Let's see if we've got any updates on the jury selection.
Is that correct?
That's correct. We could probably watch yesterday on increased speed now. It was about 3 hours yesterday. Life Lessons, we watched a couple of clips out of that, mostly the funny clips. And I think the younger defense guy, is who looks like the spitting image of one of the detectives. I think they're somehow related. He's intense. Okay, he's very witty. He's very quick with his words. He's the one that basically said, thanks for being here. He says, my pleasure, and he said, liar, and and it's some quick wit, and it's got a little barb to it, but at the same time, it's funny, and the judge smiles and thinks it's sort of cute, and I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way. I think there may be some comments with a little more zing to them.
My human dropped the attempted murder charge on her flying foul chicken face, thank goodness. Figure I would have a hard time getting at Matthew Harris to represent me pro Bico Paw Prince rough.
This text comes from Buttercup, Rebecca's dog, and who caught one of the chicks and brought it in the house. Attempted murder charge on a fowl. Yeah, that's a serious charge. Red Pen says, did you catch a comment by the judge about wearing blue jeans? I think it was early in the hearing yesterday. I heard it, but I might have skipped it. I was sort of listening while I was going along. I don't remember what it was about. And Bite Me, by the way, thank you for the generous super chat. That is awesome. Appreciate you very much. Love the Yellow Courthouse by your name. You've been a longtime supporter of the program. They look a little bit like Mark Tinsley. He has that feel, just that sharp edge to him. Very driven, passionate about what he's doing. Watch his eyes, though. Honestly, in the defense, the defense guy, when he's up there, he locks eyes with the witness, and he's like present, just almost like drilling in, like looking for any sign of weakness or little anything, and then once they're done talking, he'll look up just for the brief moment while he's formulating his own sentence, which he does very quickly, and moves on. So it's really cool. Therese Tunks, new subscriber here. Welcome. Therese, I think I said that right the first time. Welcome. Good to have you here. Once you subscribe, you can never leave. It's awesome. Lisa, hello, Poppet, to Dinah Do. Welcome, both of you. Let's see. I'm glad Brandy has someone she can refer her members to if she's not feeling well. Best wishes and healing thoughts for Brandy. Honestly, I hope she gets plenty of rest and this just quickly goes away. Hey, look who wandered in late. Good morning, Ven. Good to have you here. Should have been here an hour ago, according to the bot. But welcome. We're excited about this trial. I'll show you. We're going to go back to this little chart right here, because a couple of people came in that didn't see it. This is obviously not a Brandy level chart. This is my chart. I'm gonna shrink me down. Does that work? I'm gonna find a safe little corner for me to hide in down here. Let's see, where's a good spot? Is that small enough? I could be up here. I could be right up there. Look, there's a spot just right for me. It's perfect. It's my size. All right. This chart shows us the wives of Thomas Randolph. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, but the wives are important. You're going to hear about previous trials. You can hear about previous wives. You can hear about previous testimony and other trials, because there were 2 trials prior to the one that we're watching now. And the way this works out is the 6 couples you see in the middle of the screen represent the 6 marriages of Thomas Randolph. His first marriage was when he or she was 18 years old. I'm not sure which one. They were both very young. She got away. She divorced. She did say that he was very abusive, that he was manipulative, and abusive. It was psychologically. It was psychological abuse. Manipulative, very demanding, things like that. She gets away. She actually testifies against the trial in 2017. That he had about killing his 6th wife. Second one, the first divorce gets finalized, marries the 2nd wife. She died of what was ruled initially as a self-inflicted gunshot wound. She was found neatly tucked into bed perfectly, with the covers up to her shoulders, and then a single gunshot wound, and it didn't look right. It didn't look right, and they charged him with murder. They went for everything. They went for the death penalty, and the jury just couldn't reach that point. They just didn't feel good about that. Didn't give him a lesser included. It was all or nothing, and they ended up acquitting him. Number 3, claims he tried to kill her. He actually fired a gun. It went off accidentally while he was cleaning it, and barely missed her in the kitchen. She divorced. She also testified against him in the trial of the sixth wife's murder. Number 4 had successful heart surgery, was healing, mending up. He went in, visited her in the hospital room alone, and she died with him there. Surprise, you didn't survive. So that sounds a little suspicious. Never charged for that one. Number 5, he says she died of cancer. That's all we know. And number 6 is a hitman for hire situation that was just twisted. He ended up hiring a friend of his to do this, and he shot her. The friend shot the wife, and then Thomas shot the friend, so it got rid of all the evidence and cleaned up nicely, but his story just didn't match up, and he was initially convicted and sentenced to death row for that one, but won an appeal, and now we're back on the second trial. So, yeah, cremated within 24 hours. That was probably her wishes. She probably wanted to be cremated right away after she was murdered, allegedly. Is there like a marriage punch card after 5? The 6th one is free. Ivan, I'm sure there's some sort of discount somewhere. But honestly, talk about money. Money was the reason behind this. There was, I think, every single wife, there was money involved where he would benefit from being married to them. Either they had money and he benefited that way, and he got their money while they were alive, and also when they died, there was large insurance policies that paid out. To the tunes of total millions of dollars. So that was probably the motive behind this, according to the police. Love this. Anyone else going to go see Smashing Pumpkins in Pine Knob on September 6th? Sounds awesome. Let me run back to where I should belong. Pardon me as I dance across the page here. There we go. He made bank on most of them through insurance or suing the hospital. Hitmen were constant throughout this. Let's see. Bella says, thank you. I'm happy to be here. Listen to the Sarah Boone interview last night. Wow. We did post that interview, and I realized the interview is already out there. But the interview for Sarah Boone, I got the full video that shows her face throughout all of it. And I wanted to see that because some of her reactions, I think, were telling. So we posted it so you can see her face throughout all of it, as well as the top down. So if you want to watch that video, that's available on the Sarah Boone playlist. Ivy Berlin says, can you please explain the jury selection procedure? Thank you. Ivy, here's how it works. It starts off usually with registration for voting. So if you register to vote, or you're a citizen, on the records of the county, basically, might be home ownership. There are a couple of ways they can find your name. They put all the names into a pool, and they draw the names out, and they'll draw maybe 75, 150 names and say, you are a jury pool. Come down to the courthouse on specific day, and then they will choose a number of them to sit in a panel, and they'll start asking you questions. And they'll say, have any of you ever been charged with this crime? And if you've been charged with the same crime the defendant has, probably not going to be on the jury. They're going to say, we don't want you. It might be too traumatic for you to go through something where you're like, hey, this is just like my trial, and you respond the same way. Oh man, just seeing Brandy's tweets. Brandy's awesome. She's sending people over from Twitter. I hope she gets a ton of rest. Anyway, those jurors, as they're asked questions, they fill out basic information. They say, I'm a doctor. I'm this many years old. I live XYZ place. And so the lawyers from both sides get to hear these responses. They get to hear a little bit about people, and they have the opportunity to strike for cause, which is when they tell the judge, it's not fair to have this person on the witness stand because, for example, they're related to the prosecutor. Of course they're going to vote with the prosecutor if you're related that way. That would be a strike for cause. And the judge you can eliminate as many people as you want for cause, where the judge says, yeah, you're right. That's not fair. We're going to eliminate it. But they also have just strikes where they can say, you know what? We just think that this person won't side with us, that we don't think we'll be able to convince them. We think they're, going to be friendly to the other side. And we don't have a reason for the judge to say, yeah, they can't serve, but we want to eliminate them. And so each side is given a certain number of strikes, and those rules are set up beforehand. It might be 6, it might be 12, it might be 18. I don't know how many they get, depending on the case. They probably have a lot more strikes in a death penalty case than they would, say, in a traffic court in front of a jury. But as the two sides do this, they go through this process and they eliminate different jurors. And then the first, of all the jurors that were drawn randomly and made it through that process, the first 12 jurors plus many alternates, depending on how many jurors are sitting on the trial. In this case, it will be 12 with probably 3 or 4 alternates. Those first few, and they could be juror number 76, number 2, the numbers are random because of how they're sorted. They will be sitting on the panel or sitting in the jury box. Some jurors know throughout the trial that they're an alternate. That's rare. Usually they don't know until the end that they're an alternate. And then the judge just decides, or uses a random process to decide which jurors will not be deliberating. Was that close enough? Did I miss anything? All you legal minds out there who can catch my every mistake. Lizzie says, can you shout out my daughter Jessie, who is very disappointed I have a new trial to watch? Lizzie, Jessie, I'm sorry, but your mom is an addict, and she's addicted to true crime. And it's actually not a bad thing. It's a healthy addiction, so it deserves support. The best way you could help her is just sit and watch with her and learn a little bit about it, and you'll find that you too will become addicted. So, Jesse, welcome. Let's see, where'd I go? Does Thomas have kids of his own? I'll let Thomas answer that one. Let's see. Evangeline Light says, your video of the Serbian interview is the best, with the 2 screens showing her reactions and their questions. Worth the watch. I thought it was. As so many of us have watched this and want every little bit of information we can on the Serbian cases, that draws closer and closer. I thought it was worth getting that. It took forever for that Freedom of Information Act request to come back from Orange County. And then they redacted like the weirdest little parts. There are little beeps in there that are, it's funny. Let's see. DMB says, in my county city, we draw like 600 names at a time, but it's from multiple trials usually. Amber says, on the 6th wife, he had $360,000 worth of insurance riding on her death. That was a lot of money on there. Okay, do we have any more questions about this? Thomas Randolph, daughter Krista Randolph, supports TR, while Colleen, wife, daughter 6, is heartbroken about retrial. So the family's divided on this. I think his mom was supporting him on his original trial as well. Preemptory strikes, I think those are called. Yeah, that's the proper name. Let's see. Ivan says, I honestly thought Randolph was a woman in the thumbnail. He pulled off the ponytails quite convincingly. He really did fool a lot of people. So I'm glad the judge expected a haircut and got it. Thank you, Ivy, for the question. Always great to have those questions. Generally, if you have a question, probably someone else has the same question as well. So I appreciate you asking that. The chart is awesome. Wendy, this is the best I can do when it comes to a chart, and it takes me a ridiculous amount of time to put it together. I wish I could draw stick figures. It would be a little quicker. I did not watch Adam Montgomery's sentencing yesterday. Might have to go back and watch that. You can spoil it for me. It's all right. Okay, Barry, you guys have been rough on me. It was a late night doing the Weather Watch. And there's Weather Watch saying I have one stepdaughter. I think they meant Thomas Randolph. Does he have kids? Oh, well, Weather Watch told you anyway. Thomas Randolph does have kids. I think that was mentioned. Sarah Boone legit confused as to why she was getting arrested. That was funny. Why is this happening? Why are you doing this? You tricked me. I knew this would happen, so I came willingly. The whole thought process she goes through is bizarre. I've missed all the ones before that. I've missed a ton of comments. I apologize. Sharon says, did you read the text I sent Monday right before the one you answered? It was a reach out for help from the group. Sharon, I did read the message. If it's the one I'm thinking of, I believe it was quite personal. I appreciate you sharing it with me. I didn't feel like I could share it with the group and make sure that I kept it as, I don't know. I didn't know how to share it with the group, honestly. but I do appreciate you sharing. A lot of people have shared some very personal experiences, especially as we're dealing with trials that are very, very close to their own personal experiences, and sadly, some very awful experiences sometimes. But a lot of us have situations in our life or family members that have been through a very similar situation with some of these trials, which is why we try to be respectful throughout all of it. Because although, this trial, I might have never known anyone that's in a similar situation. One of you might have been in that situation. One of you might be, like wife number 1 or wife number 3, or have a family member who was like wife number 6. It's just something that we try to keep in mind. Kids start school on Thursday. Mine have actually been going for a while now. Thank you, Lisa, for this. I love the stick figure chart. I even saw it praised on Gossip Rumor and Innuendo's channel, referred to as cute little stickman chart. Well, this is stickman chart number 2. This is my second attempt. I tried to make it a video, actually, where it was like it created and you could walk through, and I just couldn't get the timing right. But I'll practice. I'll get there eventually. What time is this Henry VIII trial supposed to start? Tag, they start at 9 o'clock in the morning in Nevada time, which is 3 hours different. So it puts us at noon. So we'll watch, and if there's a noon, we'll probably take an early break. And if they do come on with jury selection in the noon hour, we'll come on and follow that as well. Let's see. It looked like the stick chart from the ski crash trial. That was our first stick chart, I think. That was funny. That one we stole the expert witnesses' drawings for that. We borrowed. All right, methadone is usually for pain maintenance or opioid addiction. In this case, it's pain maintenance for the defendant. He says he's never done drugs, and as far as illegal drugs. That's what he's saying, Amber. That's his story. Of course, he's also telling us that one of his wives died from cancer, and we're just not buying that either. Zens, good morning. Missed y'all. Welcome back. Good to have you here. Happy Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day. Trial's starting on a hump day. That's a rare Wednesday start, but we'll take it. Mine was a little too professional today. I'll work on that. I'll try to dial it back a little bit and make it a little amateurish. He says a lot that don't make it the truth. Dinah, I think what he's telling the judge, some of what he's telling the judge, is manipulating the judge for his benefit in trial, and I think that's going to come up again, probably in front of the jury, where he's putting on a presentation, most likely for sympathy. Let's see, Amber's on the phone. Amber, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. What did I do wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong.
Did I miss something? I didn't hear any buffer sounds, so.
No buffers at all.
Oh, good.
I just figured I'd call quick because I can't keep up with the chat at the moment with what I'm doing for work, so I figured I'd call real quick. So I was watching the hearing yesterday, and at the end, when he's talking directly to the judge, which I just thought was bizarre, and he mentioned methadone, I just couldn't, for the life of me, figure it out. Now, and I know now it's for his back pain, for what, a discompression in his back or something. I know we've got a lot of medical folks in the chat, and we've got over 1,000 people in chat right now. I have never in my life, in all of my medical training, background, experience, I have never heard of anybody being put on methadone for pain. Not unless it was also combined with an addict being treated for something.
It must be serious, or he must have, usually doctors don't put you on the strongest stuff first. I mean, if you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, I've got a headache, it's like, here, have some Lortab, Percocet, Demerol. I mean, they're not going to go on, the heaviest stuff first. They're going to try to put you on the drug that is best suited for the type of pain. as well as just like the minimum to get the job done. They're not going to go above and beyond. It's like, well, this will put you out. You won't feel anything for weeks with this. So it's possible that he ramped up, that he started with other things, and that it just wouldn't fix it, or at least that's what he reported. It's hard to measure pain as a doctor. You can only sort of try to see if they're faking or not. But
well, and that's something I do understand, and I'm not saying it's just about addicts. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, being somebody that has struggled with chronic pain my entire life, I've been on just about every medication in the book, and nowhere, anywhere did anybody say that methadone was an option, which is why I'm saying it's not really that common for methadone to be used in that way, especially for somebody that hasn't been in an addict type situation where they had issues of drug dependency, because that's typically, if you have both pain and drug dependency, they're going to treat them both with methadone. That I've seen. I've just never seen it with a patient that has had just chronic pain with no drug dependency ever. So it was baffling to me, and why they would go to something so extreme. But I mean, I also had a tolerance issue as well, but it blew my mind when he said he was on methadone and then said I'm not a drug addict and I've never done drugs. But I'm like, what in the world? They usually
go hand in hand. It's traditionally that's what we hear about. Somehow he was able to get it. It could be an indicator that his other medical conditions, which we haven't heard a lot about, are very serious. That it's just, I mean, we assume that it's just the back pain, but there might be something else as well. So be interesting. But we're probably going to hear more as this develops.
Right. Peter Steele just said something in comments, methadone is cheap. When that's true, it's much cheaper than a lot of stuff in big pharma. So that would make sense too. I knew we had a bunch of medical peeps in the chat, and I was like, I can't be the only person that's just baffled by using methadone for just back pain. It was nuts to me. But I am working on some other, in other news, I am working on getting my hands on some more documents for the current case, not just from the appeals case and from the first trial. I have some things up my sleeve that I just haven't had a chance to get to yet. My phone is at capacity now for storage because I've got so much stuff on it I need to get uploaded.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm watching the 8th Judicial Court, hoping for my record to get posted. I've had a problem. First of all, for dealing with court, you do a lot of court retrieval of documents and work with the different systems to access it. And I wish they were free a lot more, but they're not. Sometimes there's a cost associated with them, as you know. Nevada's it's fairly cheap. It's inexpensive, but they make you register through this portal service, and it's bizarre. And my account is bugged, and so I log into my account. I can log in and actually read stuff, but when I log into to try to file something with the court, because I have to file like my intention to live stream and things like that to get approval from the court. When I log into file, I can't e-file, and it says, "Oh, your account's locked. You need to reset your password." So I click the reset password. It says, "Oh, okay, follow this link." I click the link, and it says, "Oh, that's broken." And so I can't. I'm like in this catch-22 where I can't get past it. So yesterday afternoon, I was calling the court, and they have the worst. Clark County 8th Judicial, they have the worst phone system in the world. It's like 10 layers of hell to get through these automated messages of like, push this for this. And no, but I'm going down every single tree trying to eliminate, okay, that gets me to a recording. That gets me to another recording. That gets me to a recording. This tells me to go to the website. And so I'm eliminating every single option. Eventually I had to choose an option to say I was filing like an urgent appeal in my case. Like I was appealing my death penalty for the following day. And so I finally got a person. Right, and this lady answered the phone, and I said,
"Well, hold on. You know what the for that?
What?
Just keep hitting 0.
0 didn't work. I tried all the. I tried *, #, 0. I tried all the different codes, and it would just put me back at the beginning of the menu. I finally got the lady who handles urgent death penalty appeals. Okay, I'm like, I'm sorry, I pushed the wrong button. Can you give me the phone number for the 8th Judicial? She's like, sure. Here's the judge's personal assistant. And I'm like, boom, got it.
Fantastic.
so that was fun, but sometimes it's just frustrating to find your way through.
Direct extension, right?
Say that again.
I said, so you got her direct extension, right?
I did. I got her direct extension. I called it, and she answered immediately. And I'm like, hey, look, I've tried to e-file this last week, and I just need to make sure it's in the mix. She's like, yeah, the judge has been on vacation. She's just behind on her paperwork. She's going to handle it. So I'm waiting for that to be handled, but it'll show up. You'll see it eventually. My application.
Yeah. Well, I had an issue with the website too, with my account. Like, when I had sent you the link for the portal itself, I couldn't actually, I couldn't get past trying to put in my card information to be able to purchase certain documents that I wanted to have. It kept erroring me out. So it's not just you. I have a feeling it's the actual portal itself.
It's awful. The system is awful.
Quite likely has to do with traffic for this particular court right now, with this case going live here shortly. So it's not just your account, it's mine too. It's everywhere. It's just sometimes these portals just get bogged down and they just aren't up with the times of 2023, I suppose.
Well, if you need to talk to the judicial assistant for Department 10, let me know, because I've got her phone number.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to give that out. I treasure that. Teresa says, what time does court start? It starts at 9 o'clock in Nevada, which is 3 hours after Eastern time. So it starts in an hour and 15 minutes. We're going to take a break before then. But here's the catch, Teresa. We're not positive that they're going to let us have a live stream of jury selection. A lot of courts don't show that because you do hear jurors' voices in it. Very rarely you actually get to see the jury. Some courts will show the jury, but very, very rarely. So we're going to watch for that. If they do allow us to see jury selection, we're going to pop in, because that's going to be interesting. Some of the questions they ask in jury selection might give us an idea, of the shape of the theory of defense that's going to be used, things like that. It's going to be interesting, and always it's fun to hear the excuses people give as to why they can't serve on the jury. So hopefully the good microphones in this courtroom, jury selection will work hand in hand, and we'll get some gold content from jury selection later today if they allow us to stream it.
And even because with the Murdaugh case, and some of the other cases I've listened in for jury selection, you don't see much of anything. Usually they have it on the seal or on the judge specifically. And oftentimes you can't even hear the potential jurors and their responses. You just get the one-sided, question from the judge and the attorneys and the reaction of them.
Yeah, this room is mic'd better, so hopefully that won't happen this time around. Flutter One.
Some reactions are priceless.
They're
with
good.
Some of the answers that potential jurors give, and the judge is like,
the judge's
really?
face, like, you came here with that? That's the best excuse you could come up with? It's like, I have a cat. I have a cat that needs me. It's like, we all have cats. It's funny. Flutter One says, RA, do you have to file with the courts to get permission to live stream? Yes and no. Just to rebroadcast using fair use, you do not. But you're fighting a little battle with the copyright holder on that sometimes, and they can issue strikes, and it's a little different. When I can file with the court as media, there are some states that recognize my channel as media just for all their trials, and there's other courts that say you have to get recognized as media for every single hearing, and so it goes in between. But getting permission as media, because I've worked in the media before, I'm familiar with this, how to work with them. Sometimes it gives us FTP access to the files after court dates are over, so we can go back and look at high resolution video of what happened. Sometimes we get a live feed sent to us directly from a different stream that just doesn't have the overlays from other channels that are doing the same thing. But it just protects the channel a little bit, so it helps. But it's a lot of legwork on the front end. Amber, so you're busy today with work. What's your gut feel? Are they going to show the jury selection today?
I think they will, but I think it's I think it's going to be more like the one-sided, only the audio of the court personnel as opposed to hearing what the jurors are saying or potential jurors. So I think we'll probably get to hear the questions in which they're weeding people out with, which is always interesting to hear. If anybody listens to jury selection for the Murdaugh case, and if you didn't, you should actually go back and listen. It's really quite insightful because you get an idea of how they narrowed down this huge pool to these, 16 to 18 people, depending on how many alternates they end up picking out. So if we could at least hear the questions that are being asked of the jurors, it would explain a lot as to how this jury is, the composition of the jury would make more sense, in my opinion. Yeah. And kind of gives you more insight on how they're leaning too.
Yeah, and it lets you, just by hearing their voices, you can often sort of get an idea of the composition of the jury when they're selected, as which people are who. So Sissy Zyke says, sorry, I'm kind of new. Who's the lady on the phone? This is Amber. She goes by Calypson's Vixen. On our channel, she goes by other things on other channels. But she toned it down a little bit for us. She's a document hound. She does a great work chasing down documents from true crime for the Discord page, As the Hammer Drops Discord page, and as well as for us. And so she's just great. She's one of our mods here. That's her. That's who's on the phone right now. Anyway, great question. Yeah. Amber, anything else I can do for you, or is it time to get back to work before your boss hears you're on the air?
Well, I've been working too, so
okay. We'll give you a pass.
Hopefully the other true crime peeps in my department aren't. I try to not share certain things with people I work with, and where I tend to focus a lot of my while I'm working YouTube watching, I try not to share that piece because then they'll actually catch me. So
flying under the radar. Well, good luck with that, Amber. Thank you very much as always. You're incredibly helpful and knowledgeable. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you guys later.
Have a great day. Bye. Angie Burr says, Recovery Addicts, can you do a shout out to Dinah-Do 420 for being a rock star recovering after a recent surgery? Dinah-Do 420 is a rock star. I think also an amazing mod over for Brandy's channel. Absolutely awesome. Thank you very much. You're a rock star to many of us. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. Take a look at Judge DeSanto's Zoom courtroom from yesterday morning. I'm hesitant. What will we find if we go over there? Is it like a soft sit or what's up there? Let's see. 11-month trial. You better get a book deal at the end of an 11-month trial. Okay. Crazy case. Year of testimony, 4 hours of deliberation. All right. Here's what we're going to do. She kept a guy talking to wait for the cops to get there. Oh, yes, I thought that was from the other day. I saw one where there was a lady that was ordered to jail, and she was all quiet, but her boyfriend was like cussing up a storm, and the cops arrived and arrested her live on Zoom, which was pretty funny. That might have been a different trial. It happens occasionally on some of these, especially the Zoom courts, where the judge is like, I ordered you to appear at the jail, and you're not there. Where are you at? He's like, oh, I'm at home. I wasn't, it's like, go ahead and send a unit over there. and then they keep talking until you hear the police at the door, and mission accomplished. Awesome stuff. All right. I think we're gonna wrap up for an early lunch. I'm gonna keep an eye on this the Black Widower trial. We're gonna see if we get jury selection. If we do, I'll make a new thumbnail and we'll announce that. It won't happen anytime before 12. but we should find out shortly before then if it does go live. If it does not happen, if we don't get jury selection video, first of all, I'll be gutted because I love that part. But we're expecting the trial to start tomorrow morning with opening statements, and that will actually start at noon our time. So I think that's how it's going to work. And then we might do the whole catch up in the morning and watch it in the evening. So you guys don't have to completely change your schedule around to watch. Anything else we need to cover before we wrap things up here this morning? It's been a fantastic morning, by the way. Good to have you all here and spend it with you. Angelo, happy birthday. Thanks for being here. Let's see, anything else? Thank you, Dinah Do. Appreciate you very much. You guys are amazing. And what you do for Brandy is incredible as well. I appreciate all you incredible mods over there that help her out with her channel. I cannot stress enough that the major work that goes on a YouTube channel is carried by the moderators. I have incredible mods. We just have some amazing people who work like crazy to get things done on the backside, and it's a lot of work that oftentimes is not recognized. But I just want to give a shout out to them, both my mods and Brandy's mods. The work you do is awesome. It's incredible. The support you give to Brandy is so needed, and it would not be possible to live stream like this every single day without them. So thank you very much. I think mod opportunities do continue to arise. I wouldn't say they burn out, but sometimes you're like, I'm ready to give somebody else a chance, or I need a break, or I've got this XYZ event coming up in my life. I need to be able to focus here, and so we do rotate some mods in and out occasionally. But I've got just the best mods I could ever hope for right now. So, and a lot of volunteers who could be awesome mods as well. Let's see, anything else? Ivan said I'd like to give myself a shout out. Way to go, Ivan. That works. Love doing mod work for Brandy. Candace, she is great. Of all the people to be a mod for, that's a winner for sure. All right, the music started. We know what that does. That means we've got to wrap things up here for just a minute. All right, after lunch, hopefully we'll be back with jury selection. I cannot promise this, unfortunately. Ooh, my phone was ringing, I think. Let's see. Eric, thank you. Nurgle, I didn't see you in chat, but I appreciate the chat, the text message, doing some research on this. I'd love to find out what you find on that regarding this case and possible relations between a couple people in the case. Let's see. Be good now. We don't want to attend your trial. Last night, the police pulled up behind me, lights on, not flashing lights, just the bright ones. And they wanted to know what I was doing on a dark alley in the middle of a or like a little abandoned road between a cornfield. I don't know how they found me, honestly. My headlights were off, but they did, and lights came on. If you want to watch that, go watch the Weather Watch stream from last night. We were watching the rain and the lightning come through, and the cops wanted to know what I was doing. Nothing nefarious. It was good. I was able to talk them down, and they left me alone. So I'm glad I'm not in court today trying to explain what I was doing there. Saw the storm chaser RA this morning. I've got a ways to go before I can be a storm chaser. I just sort of stood out and let the storm hit me. I did very little chasing. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. Please stay safe till we go live again. Wish Brandy the very best in her recovery as well. We hope she's back in full health tomorrow as this case is getting started. Nothing nefarious is what a nefarious person would say. That's about true. Stay safe. We'll be going to be live hopefully this afternoon. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good one. We'll see you.
Because he's the guy.